All right. Looking up here. I want us to look up here before we just start randomly filling things in, because I like you to look at the new journal. Our new journal that we're working on today is going to be called a sales journal. Okay. Purchases journal was the easiest one that we started with in chapter 9 because it really only had one column for numbers. Now our sales journal, I think, is our second easiest special journal to use. Okay. When we look at our sales journal, the only thing that's going to be affected in our sales journal is going to be when customers buy on an account from us. Okay. So for example, somebody's going to come in and we're buying merchandise now. And they're gonna come in and buy something from us. So when we take a look at our columns here, we have our date column on the left-hand side, just like we did before. Look at this column though; it doesn't say account title. Account debited. Okay. So accounts receivable. Accounts receivable are on the left-hand side of the accounting equation. So therefore, normal balance is a debit. So we know all of the names of our customers that are going here are going to be debited. Now here's what's a little bit different. Okay, if I go to the store and I buy a Chromebook, okay, 200 bucks. Okay, let's say they're 200 bucks. Do I hand over just 200 bucks? Sales tax. So now this is where our perfect little accounting world gets a little bit crazier, because the way our government works, basically, it's what happens is I am a business, I sell items, you come in, buy it from me, I collect the sales tax from you and then turn it into the government. They don't expect you as a customer to say, oh, I bought this amount of money, oh, I bought that, and then you turn in the sales tax to the business or to the government, right? So we have to, as a business, keep track of all of that sales tax that we collected. Because if, let's say that sales tax was $25, that $25 that I got because of selling that Chromebook is not stay in the business. That money, that $25, is now owed to the government. So we have an account now called sales tax payable. We know if we hear the word payable, what type of account should we think of? Liability. And liabilities have what for normal balance? Credit. Credit, because it's on the right-hand side. Yeah. So when we take a look at sales tax payable, we know it's a liability account, and basically we just keep track of things separately. Now, if you go to Don's and buy something, when you buy things, if you look at your receipt on the very bottom, it's going to have a total of product, then it'll have a total for sales tax, and then it'll have a total of the two. Have you ever noticed that? Take a look at it now within the next week and you'll notice. Because some items at Don's you get taxed on and some you don't. Okay? So they go through and they know which items are taxable and which are not. But they have to go through and keep track of how much product did they sell, which is going to be the sales amount, how much sales tax, which is the percent times your product, and then the total amount that you receive. That's kind of what we have here. We use our sales journal only when customers buy an account from us. So we know that they're going to pay us later. We have 3 columns here. Most common mistake that I see on this journal is flipping sales and sales tax. You put the sales tax number in here and you put the sales number there. Just watch it, okay? Sales tax should be less than sales, correct? Yeah. Okay. So you will see that you have 2 credits and you have 1 debit. Basically, what you are going to have is the amount of the product that they bought plus the sales tax is going to equal your accounts receivable. Okay? So when we go through and use this journal, it's going to help us to see the amount of products that are bought on an account from our customers. Now, there are some businesses that don't have to pay sales tax. Can you think of any?
Businesses that don't have to.
Mm-hmm. Microsoft.
Nonprofit. Jorge, what kind of place does not have to have sales tax?
School.
School. He knows this because oftentimes when he goes to Don's to buy things, they have to make sure they tax exempt us. Why don't we pay sales tax? how is schools funded? Schools are funded through tax. Okay, so it'd be silly for the school to pay tax to the government, to give it to the government, and the government give it back to the school. See how that would be a big circle? So we do have some businesses that are not going to pay sales tax. Also, if a business goes and buys something from another business, they don't pay sales tax. Just the end consumer will pay sales tax. Does anyone in here have a Sam's Club account where you get tax exempt? Mom does, because they could buy things for a business to turn around for resale.
I just go there for the sample. You're hungry.
You have to have a card to get in.
To get in? Yeah.
Yes.
It's a club, man.
It's an exclusive club.
Pretty cool though. Pretty good deals in there.
Yeah, I have a card also. It's actually a card through the school, which at one point for the concession stand I used to drive there and buy candy. Stopped doing that relatively early. Yes. Because I didn't have anyone that would deliver. And then I went to Don's, and then I found a place that delivers here much, much easier. So I have a card through the school, and if I'm buying something for FBLA or something, I can then say it's tax exempt. But for example, that was the cheapest spot that I could find to buy diapers for my kids, but obviously I didn't use tax exempt status on buying diapers because that would be unethical. Could I have got away with it? Sure, they might have looked at me a little weird on saying, why does Seymour FBLA need diapers? But, you know, we'll go that route. So when we look at our sales journal, I want us to look at the transaction, because anytime we're affecting our sales journal, this is how the transaction is going to be stated. You are going to have examples where you have to calculate your sales tax. They are not going to give it to you. Okay? How do you calculate sales tax? Yeah, by the percent. So you are not going to need to have a percent memorized. They will always give you your sales tax percent. Okay, so you would take the value of the product, for example, that Chromebook for $200, and you would multiply your sales tax. For example, what are we in Outagamie County? 5% if we're in Brown County? 5.5.
Chicago's really bad, isn't it?
Why is Brown County more?
It's Appleton Mall.
Lambeau Field. They have that 0.5% sales tax in Brown County because of the Lambeau Field expansion. Because of all the people that go there because of Lambeau Field, they go there and visit, so they pay 0.5% sales tax more. So I always try to convince my husband when we're doing big ticket shopping, it would save us money if we actually go to Appleton instead of Green Bay. Which is why also if you buy something in Green Bay and then return it in Appleton, they have to do different conversions to give you back the amount of sales tax correctly. Same thing, Milwaukee County also has a higher sales tax. Why? Brewers.
Where my brother lives in Texas, they have 2 days where they don't have tax on anything. It's like right before school starts. They have 2 days, and they said like you can't go to any stores because it's like
crazy busy.
Yeah.
It's like Black Friday.
Because everyone goes shopping those days to get like school stuff, like new
Are you
clothes.
buying McDonald's?
That's just 2 days. Okay.
All right. So let's look at this transaction. It reads, sold merchandise and account to Adrian Meskowski, $800 plus sales tax, $48, total $848. So here's an example where they gave us the amount of the sales tax included. If we look up here in the directions, it says, using the current year, journalize the following transaction on page 9 of the sales journal. The sales tax invoice source document is abbreviated as S. If they did not give you the amounts of sales tax in the directions up here in the top that you read so closely, they will give you your sales tax percent. Okay? So, anything that has a source document of an S is going to go in your sales journal. If it has a source document of a P, it goes in your, if it has a C, cash payments. M, general. So your source documents will clue you into what journal it goes into. Let's record the first one. First thing I said is this should be page 9 of the sales journal. You can see it says page 9 on the upper right hand corner. We're going to put in here the month, and it's September 1st. Who owes us money? Adrian. So I'm going to type in Adrian. I do not need to do accounts receivable, Adrian, because why? Special column for accounts receivable. Again, we separated accounts payable from our names. We don't say accounts payable Don's Quality Market. I don't need to say accounts receivable Adrian Makowski because two separate accounts. I have an Adrian Makowski account and I have an accounts receivable account. The accounts receivable account is a controlling account, which means at any given point I can look there and I will see the total amount of money that all of my customers have to pay into the business that I should be receiving. Source document we have is S104, so I just need to type in 104. Why? Because only sales invoices are going to go in there. How much does Adrian owe us? $848 goes in accounts receivable. The amount of the product, $800, goes in sales. In sales tax is $48. On the 11th, we sold merchandise and account to Columbus Schools. Sales invoice is 105, and it says Columbus City Schools is exempt from sales tax. So the amount that they owe us is $875 and $875, and then you just leave sales tax blank. On the 28th, we sold merchandise and account to Swiss Delight, $1,460, plus sales tax of $87.60 for a total of $1,547.60. There's cents on there. Don't miss your cents. So, how much does Swiss Delight owe us? Okay. The amount of product is $1,460 and the amount of sales tax is $87.60. How many days are in September? 30. You guys do you remember the knuckle? I don't know the song, I do the knuckles.
Too long though. Just takes too long. Might as well just guess.
And then you can get it wrong.
No.
It'll mark the whole line wrong because you have the wrong number. So go ahead, just guess. It's your score. So I'm going to put the last day of the month, which is 30. And again, to remember, using your knuckles to calculate, you start on a knuckle, say the month. January, go in between. February, March, April, May, June, July. Go on the knuckle again. August, September, October, November, December. If it's on the knuckle, 31. In between, 30 except February. And in our counting land, February always only has 28 days. Okay? So we're going to use our calculator and we're going to add up 848 plus 875, which will give me $3,183.60. I'll add up 800 plus 875 plus 1,460, which should give me 3,135. And then I need to add up my sales tax, which will give me 135.60. I need to prove my journal. Accounts receivable debit total 3,183.60. Sales tax 3,135. Sales tax is 135.60. I think I've made a mistake.
Yeah.
800 plus 875, 1,460.
The first one without the number that you got first.
Accounts receivable you don't agree with?
Yeah.
Wrong, yeah.
Alright. 3,270. 60. Because that's actually what I got my credits to come out to.
That's what I have, but people were telling me I didn't know.
Oh, see? I am human, I make mistakes. Okay? I would like you to go ahead and do the on your own.